Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, Mad Gargan. Yeah, had my hair cut. Both me and my son got our hair cut the other day. And up here today, guys, I can't remember when I did it, must have been a couple of weeks ago. I did a video talking about what games that I play, and I went through the different types of genres of games. And today I'm going to do the same thing, but with like movies and TV shows. There's a lot of genres to go through, so I'm just going to go straight into it. Just bear in mind some stuff that you might think, okay, that doesn't deserve to be its own genre. I class it as its own genre. So yeah. Obviously, up first is horror. I love horror. It's one of my favorite genres. I love. There's so many different types of horror nowadays. I love like B horror. Low budget horror, cheesy fun horror movies. The films like the Puppet Master style films. Of course, you've got loads of like monster horror movies, like your zombie films, your werewolves, your vampires, your classics. Your Hammer and your Universal monster movies, of course. There's a ton of genres when it comes to horror. You've got your POV horrors. I'm not a huge fan of films like Paranormal Activity. Modern horror, doesn't do much for me these days. When it comes to horror, because there's sort of like for me, horror is split into three different main categories. You have your scary type of horror movies, your horror movies that are meant to scare people, like your Conjuring, those sort of movies. You have your horror movies that are meant to horrify movies, gory movies that go over the top, like your what was it? Your Dead Snow, those sort of movies. And then obviously you've got your psychological horror movies, ones that mess with your mind. And I like all types of horror. I've always appreciated horror, and I just love. There's so much horror. Horror just doesn't get the attention that other films get, unfortunately. But I love horror, and it's one of my favorite genres. Next, drama. I'll be honest with you, I don't really watch a lot of dramas, these films, Again, there's so many different subcategories when it comes to each of these, but dramatic films, again, I don't really watch a lot of drama films, but it's a genre I'm more intrigued by, because I have watched a few drama films here and there, and I've actually really enjoyed them, so that's a genre that I really want to sort of get into a little bit. So recommend me some good drama films. Romance, honestly, I'm not really a big fan of romance. But like I said, both these are for TV as well. Same with TV. I not really watched many horror TV shows apart from American Horror Story. Same with dramas. I haven't really watched a lot of dramas. Romance, again, I'm not really a massive fan of romance movies. I don't mind movies when they have romance interest within it, or rom-coms. I don't mind some rom-coms and romance that's in other TV shows and movies, but something that's just dedicated romance, it's not really for me. Comedy is probably my second favorite genre of all time, and there's so many different versions of comedy, out there. Of course, sitcoms are probably my most favorite. When it comes to like comedy TV shows, sitcoms, obviously, I love sitcoms. I love comedy. There's so many different types of comedy. I love like classic comedies like Laurel and Hardy, the classic golden age of comedy, your silent comedies like your Buster Keaton and your Charlie Chaplin. I love like British comedies like Only Fools and Horses. Same with movies, I like comedy. You've got raunchy comedies, you've got, black comedies, like your dark comedy. Like I watched one last night called 48 Hours, and that movie was, it was like a dramatic paced movie, but it had comedic elements to it. But there's so much when it comes to comedy. There's so many different types of comedy out there, and I really enjoy comedy. Movies that make me laugh. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 the other day, and that had a lot of comedic elements, and I was really enjoying it. So, I love comedy. Sci-fi, again, I love sci-fi movies. Of course, Star Wars, Star Trek, the first ones that come to mind. Obviously, there's a ton of sci-fi out there. Alien, sci-fi can fall into so many different categories nowadays. Got comedic sci-fi things like the Orville, for example, and then you've got dark sci-fi horror movies like Alien and Predator and so on. But I like sci-fi. I've always been a big fan of sci-fi. I grew up with Star Wars and things, so it's always nice to see all these different, space and, futuristic settings, cyberpunk-esque type things. And I love sci-fi as well. And I really enjoy sci-fi as well. Fantasy is like the other end of the spectrum of sci-fi. So sci-fi is all futuristic and crazy, whereas fantasy sort of set in a older time period, and I like fantasy things, like you've got stuff like The Witcher TV show, which I really enjoyed. I still need to watch season 2. You've got things like, of course, Lord of the Rings. I am looking forward to the new Lord of the Rings TV show, which I did see the trailer for. Although the trailer didn't do much for me, to be honest. I watched it and I was like, but never judge something by the trailer. I don't watch trailers anymore. But I like fantasy things, and there's a lot of budget fantasy stuff out there. I've enjoyed fantasy, I like that sort of thing, it's all, your dragons and your creatures and stuff, and there's so many different versions of fantasy out there. Next up, animation. Now this one could be classed as a genre. I actually class animation as a genre because it's so many different things. Animation is probably my third favorite genre. I love animation. Adult animation probably the most. Things like South Park, The Simpsons, BoJack Horseman, Family Guy. I love adult animation, and I will say Netflix are great. If you're a fan of adult animation, Netflix has some of the best ones out there, especially originals as well, but also Disney Plus has a great selection as well. Same with animation movies as well, not just adult animation, but I like cartoons like your Nickelodeon, your Cartoon Network, growing up, Tom and Jerry, all cartoons. I love cartoons. Same with movies. You've got like animated movies like Disney. I'm not really a huge fan of modern style, the 3D animated movies like the Minions and stuff like that. I'm not really massive into them. They're sort of family animation, but I love like animation, like cartoons and stuff. Anime as well. I do like anime. I've been watching Gundam. I'm slowly getting back into anime. Because again, a lot of people say, well, anime. I like anime as well, so yeah, I really enjoy that. Superhero stuff. So this is where it could be, is it a genre, isn't it a genre? I think superheroes have grown so much over the past, 10 years that superhero is technically a genre now, really. Of course, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is probably the biggest, biggest superhero universe. But again, this falls into so many different things. You've got cartoon animations like your Avengers TV show, your Batman shows and stuff like that. But I love superheroes, I've loved comics growing up. I love all of that stuff. So, for me, I love superhero films. They're not like the biggest thing I have to go out and watch every new superhero film that comes out. I watch them when I do, but I always do enjoy them. I don't. A lot of people sort of delve into superheroes and give it full reviews and stuff. I just see them as what they are, popcorn entertainment. But I love superheroes. Next up, westerns. This is a genre that I'm slowly starting to appreciate more. My granddad used to love watching these western films, and I'd sit there and watch, westerns with him. And I'd love watching westerns with him. But over time, I've actually started to appreciate westerns a little bit more. One that I really want to get is the Gunsmoke box set, but I'm hoping that Paramount Plus will put Gunsmoke on their subscription service. Probably will. But I enjoy Western. Same with war movies, because Western war. Again, I grew up watching a lot of these with my granddad. I've always been a fan of like war movies and things like that. Um, Action and adventure movies. Again, there's so many different variety when it comes to action and adventure movies. I like action movies. I like the over the top. Sometimes I like the over the top action movies. You've got your ones that are full on action movies, like your Mission Impossible. But then you've got movies like Indiana Jones and 007. That build on the story, on the characters. I always enjoy a cheesy action movie here and there, an adventure movie. I enjoy watching those. I think they're a lot of fun. There are some bad ones out there. There are some films that are cash grabs, like the Fast and Furious series. I only enjoy the first 3 movies, although I haven't seen any of the later ones, but, it's just ridiculous. But I enjoy action and adventure movies. Foreign movies. This is another genre that I know it's, again, is it a genre? But foreign movies, so non-English speaking language movies. I've actually started to expand my horizon with foreign movies and TV shows, of course. I've seen, of course, Japanese, Chinese, I've even watched like Indian movies, and stuff like that. And I do try to keep an open mind, and it's nice to see the sort of different styles, because there are some amazing foreign films out there and TV shows out there that are worth checking out. But my favourite genre when it comes to foreign is the martial art genre. I love martial art films, one of my all-time favourite martial art films that I think doesn't get enough praise, it's got to be Twin Dragons. I love this film, Jackie Chan and Jackie Chan. I love this film. Cheesy comedy, but some great action scenes. But I love films like the martial art films, like all the old. Of course you've got your Dynasty Warrior Star one and your Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon one, but you've also got like the cheesy, terrible dubbing martial art films, the Hong Kong films. I love watching those. They're just so fun. Just great fight scenes and terrible dialogue, but awesome fight scenes. I love that. Historical stuff. I actually, same with historical. I think historical is enjoyable. I like watching some historical films and stuff. Again, this can fall into so many different categories. You've got historical war films, historical dramas. Again, sticking with historical documentaries, I don't really watch a ton of documentaries, unfortunately. I do watch them occasionally if there's something that sort of catches my eye and I go, oh, a documentary on something that I enjoyed, and yeah, I'll check it out. I like World War II documentaries and things like that. But I enjoy, some historical stuff. Next up is, I put it down as like erotica and adult films. And then when I say adult films, I'm not talking like hardcore porn or anything like that. Not the show hardcore porn, but I mean, like your Pornhub and stuff. That's not movies. I'm on about films like, your Full Moon type films and your Skinamax or whatever you guys had in the US. I do sometimes watch those sort of films, especially when they're cheesy films. Yeah, there's a lot of sex in them, but sometimes they can be quite fun to just watch, and you think to yourself, how this got made, I don't know. And I watched the Cinderella adult one, and that was insane. I was like, wow, I can't believe they made a porn spoof of Cinderella. It's insane. But those sort of films, I watch on full moon when I do watch them. I don't think nothing too much of them. They're nothing terrible, but they can be quite fun to watch sometimes as a laugh. Sports. I'm not really a big fan of sports. Occasionally I'll put like basketball or baseball on in the background on my TV sometimes. I love wrestling. As you know, I'm a big wrestling fan. Motorsports, I'm kind of somewhat into motorsports. I grew up loving motorsports. If I was to choose a motorsport that I enjoy, it would be rally. I like rally stuff. But I don't watch a lot of sports, unfortunately, other than wrestling. So yeah. Family movies. I enjoy some family movies. again, it can be classed as a subgenre or real genre. Of course, one of my all-time favourite family movies is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Let me know what you think about the new one coming out. I'm kind of intrigued, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I don't know. But I do like watching family films here and there. I think as my son gets older, we'll probably delve more into those sort of films. Musicals, not really, unfortunately. I do like some musicals. You know, there's a lot of Lauren Hardy films and shorts that have musicals stuff in there, and I don't mind that. You know, when a film has some musical parts to it, but it isn't the main focus. I'm not talking things like Glee or you know, High School Musical, where pretty much the whole thing is just one musical. I don't mind like older films like the, you know, like the Fred Astaire and those sort of older musicals, and of course like Willy Wonka could be classed as a musical. I'm very touchy with certain musicals. And then last but not least, Thriller. Again, Thriller could be classed as, there's so many different types of thrillers out there, but I enjoy thrillers as well. You know, I like sort of movies that have mystery to them, like mystery movies, your crime thriller movies. So yeah, so there we go, guys. There's some genres that I watch, and most of this was movies. But when it comes to TV shows, if I was to say out of the TV shows that I'd normally watch in the TV shows, it's mostly animation and comedy stuff when it comes to TV shows. The rest of them are stuff that I need to delve into a little bit more. But anyway, guys, I'm on my own for a few hours today. My partner's took my son out. They've gone to somewhere. They've gone out somewhere. So I've got the gender scan on Monday, so we find out what we're having. I'm hoping we're having a girl, but as long as it's healthy, that's all that matters. But I'm hoping for a girl, so of course I'll let you know come Monday what's happening with that. Ghost of Tsushima, I've still been playing that. I've just started the Iki Island DLC today. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go in and do it. But it definitely is a bit more challenging. I will say it's definitely more challenging than the base game. I'm hoping when you beat it, you can just go straight back and continue where you left off. I assume you can. And tonight, last night I watched the movie 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. Kind of a fun one. It wasn't what I expected. I was expecting something like Rush Hour, those sort of type of movies, but it weren't. It was more like a dark comedy thriller with some comedic elements. Tonight I'm going to watch Rush Hour 3. Amazon finally added Rush Hour 3 to Amazon Prime, so I'm like, oh, I'll watch that and get it over with tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. I've heard the third one isn't as good as the first two, but that's always the case. I just want to start by saying, guys, thank you for all the support on the channel. I'm pissed off because I thought my books were coming yesterday. UPS said they were coming between 9:15 and 1:15. It was like 1:30, didn't turn up. 2:00, didn't turn up. Then it was like, oh, it should be here by the end of the day, didn't turn up. And now they're saying it's coming Monday, so I don't know what's going on with that. So hopefully that should be here Monday, you know, so I can do the unboxing video of that. I'm going to chill for a bit today, I think. I'm going to get some stuff done, but I'm going to chill. I've really been enjoying this Kindle, by the way. One thing I want to say about this Kindle is the battery life is amazing. Now, bear in mind, this hasn't been charged up since Monday, since the Thursday I got it, and it's still on 92%. And I have been reading on it. You know, I read on it last night and the night before, so the battery life on this is absolutely amazing. One thing I will say is it's all in black and white, which kind of threw me off at first. So I won't be able to read comics on here. I mean, I could, but, you know, so that's something that's worth mentioning. But I think it's definitely a good investment. I'm using it. I'm enjoying reading on there. But as always, guys, but so yeah, that's what's going on. So I'm going to chill for a bit and probably watch some YouTube and stuff tonight. And yeah, just also, guys, if you're in the UK, stay safe. This weather is going to be hot over the next couple of days. Stay safe. Try not to go out as much as you need to. You know, keep your windows closed throughout the day. A lot of people don't realise this. keep your windows closed and your curtains closed. You keep the cold air in the room, and only open them at night when the hot air is gone. Otherwise, you know, keep yourself safe, keep your kids in, keep your animals safe, and try not to go out just because it is dangerous. But obviously, do it. Only go out if you need to, and keep yourself safe. Today isn't going to be too bad. It's going to be Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's going to be the worst. I think Tuesday and Monday are the worst 2 days, which is typical because the day that I've got to go and get my scan, but whatever. And as always, guys, comment below. Let me know your favourite genres of movies and TV shows, what you're watching tonight, what you're playing tonight. And as always, guys, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Mad Kiger. And have a nice day. And see you next time.